All right. Well, welcome to Weather After Dark. My name is Ken Johnson. Joining me soon will be Weatherman Cameron Lindsay. He'll be joining me here in just a few minutes. Here, we're going to talk about, well, whatever it is you really want to talk about. Remember, Weather After Dark is a something we do for you. Allows you to ask us questions, interact with us, and just basically just two dudes, two nerdy guys, just hanging out, talking weather, and talking just about whatever you want to talk about. Now, and remember though, we try to steer clear from politics. I'm waiting on Cameron. He'll join us here in a few minutes from his home studio, the one that he made there, and we'll talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about winter. I'm going to talk a little bit about the wildfires out west there in California, and well, again, whatever else you guys want to talk about. So just let me know. Just all you got to do is just send me a little message on there, and it'll appear. It'll pop up there, and we'll put your question on there. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We finally had a chance to thaw out some, all that the ice and snow, or as my wife calls it, the white death. Over us last week. I had a patch there behind my house in the shade where it was it was taking it even longer. Here comes Cameron. We'll throw him here to the mix. Welcome on the show here, Weatherman Cam. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I can't even get my camera position before you start throwing me in here, dog.
Are you using your phone or are you using your GoPro again?
Use my phone.
All right. All right. I like I still love the background there. Why are you clapping? Are you clapping for yourself?
Yeah, I'm clapping for myself, not you.
Man, I tell you what, the Vikings are getting spanked tonight.
Yep, that means Sam Darnold will be a free agent this offseason.
Oh, he's looked terrible the last two games. Terrible.
Yep, that's in the games that matter most, and he's going to be heading to free agency now.
Yep, they'll that pretty much cemented his deal. So right there, so I lost some money on. I really thought the Vikings would win. I actually put a decent amount on them and I lost. So I'm going to lose. So
way to go, Ken.
Yeah. So, well, Cameron, I was just telling about my weekend here. I've had this little patch of ice sat behind my house on top of the hill. It's in the shaded area. It's finally gone, but it was there pretty much all weekend. And of course, you know what a patch of ice does. It just trickles, slowly melts. And by slowly melting, you know what that does? It keeps the yard muddy. So dogs have been bringing mud in and out of the house. Pretty much all weekend, even today, still mud, dirt coming in. So I've been fighting that all weekend. What else have I been going? Man, I haven't felt good, Cameron. I've been real tired, man. I don't know what's going on. I've been just so sleepy.
I thought you were going to say you were getting sick, and then say, "Don't put that on me. Don't do that."
No, I'm not getting sick. I'm just tired.
Don't do that. Don't get sick.
Yes, we are live now. So somebody asked if we were live now. I said, yes, we are live. This is, last week, of course, we had weather to talk about. And no, you're not on a rerun. No. So we were on we had a winter storm last week to talk about. We were averaging at one night we had over 300 people watching at one time, and tonight we're like 20. Back to the norm tonight here. So
you know what? It's okay. I'll take the break.
And we got somebody here that says,
"I'm sure
says
you
the dynamic duo." Man, I think last week really wore me out. It's doing all of this. It's the studying of you're waiting for every model run to come out, and then you start stressing because the information is conflicting, and that kind of weighs on your brain a little bit. You don't sleep as well because you're constantly thinking about things. You're constantly looking at things. You want to get it right. And then,
I don't know about you, but I slept pretty good. So
I did not. So, but I've gotten to where I don't sleep very good anyway lately. So,
I will say though, Ken, I'm not going to lie. I did get a little distracted. I think it was Wednesday where I got really sucked into the wildfires in California.
That's incredible. I mean, I say incredible, but it's tragic, but incredibly tragic.
Yeah.
And we can talk, we can even do a little conspiracy theory here. I saw Mel Gibson. Did you see Mel Gibson's interview on the Joe Rogan podcast?
All
right. So of course, you know who Mel Gibson is, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And he also he's Braveheart, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I was saying here, so he brought up a good point, and he says that it just happened that there was no water in the fountains or in the hydrants,
Yeah.
and there were, the conditions were prime for a big fire
Yeah.
to occur. Right prior to that, he said that I think I may have misheard him. He said that he thought that the hydrants were purposely drained for some reason. My biggest question in the whole thing here is this. Of course, I'm not here to. Well, I mean, there has to be a lot of questions asked, but when you're dealing with something of that magnitude, we're talking about wind that's as strong as it was. I mean, you're
Yeah.
look at 70, 80 mile per hour winds. There's not a whole lot you can do to fight that, to combat that.
No.
But a lot of people say that was purposely set. Now, I don't know. I have no reason to believe or not to believe that wasn't purposely set.
I've heard
So, what do
there's
you
like
think?
in I've heard there's investigations about there being arson, like if someone committed arson and purposely set that fire. I've heard about that, but I don't know. It's so easy to speculate. I mean, that was a major fire, but in those conditions, it doesn't take much to get a
No.
fire started. Is a thing.
Well, I mean,
So
we get
like,
fires around here.
yeah, like it doesn't take much. It takes someone to drive on a road and spark a chain. Next thing you know, you have a big fire, and with the winds like that, it's going to become out of control very, very fast. And I think at the time I heard that relative humidity was at like single digits, so it was
Oh yeah.
dry as it could be. So I mean, it was just the perfect recipe for a nightmare, and all you need was a spark. And as to where the spark came from, well, we don't know, but it's not hard to get a fire going in those conditions.
Well, it's still, they're still burning out there, and red flag warnings are all over the place out there still.
Yeah.
And I don't foresee it changing. It's this weather pattern we're in. Of course, the climate alarmists are on here saying climate change, climate change, climate change. I'm not speculating, and I'm not trying to debate anybody on whether climate change exists or not. But we've always had fires.
Mhm.
And when you're and I don't know that we're officially in La Nina, but the weather pattern has really acted like La Nina for a while now, and that's with the ridge of high pressure kind of centered over the southwestern part of the country at northwest flow aloft. And that's going to favor dry conditions. I know they're in a drought out there, but I mean, they had good rainfall last winter. It's just the La Nina weather. It's not the climate change as a whole. It's the La Nina weather pattern that we're in that has helped produce the drought conditions out there. And then you combine that with the winter storm we had here last week, helping to create those strong winds. That has nothing to do with climate change. Has everything to do with the weather pattern as opposed to climate change. Do you agree, Cameron?
I agree. My biggest thing I always say is that you cannot micromanage climate change. That is not what it is. You can't look at, for example,
Mm-mm.
you can't take our snowstorm we got here a couple days ago and say that was climate change. It doesn't work like that. It's long-term patterns. Long-term patterns are changing and adjusting. That's climate change, not a one snowstorm that comes
Exactly.
across Texas.
Climate has to be looked at on a whole. It
Yeah.
can't be looked at on a one event. It looks at on a whole.
And one thing we
Um,
always talk about too is that we have about a little over 100 years of data compared to the entirety of the Earth. Like that's such a small sample of data that we have.
Amelia says, "Good night to you, Ken." Well, I hope I didn't offend Amelia because I certainly wasn't trying to. We're just having an honest conversation here. Well, good night to you.
She
I hope
might be
you
going to bed, bro.
maybe she is. Hope you sleep well. Yeah, I'm certain we're certainly not here to try to debate anybody. We're certainly not here trying to get political with it. We're just we're two nerdy scientists, right? That just are just speaking our mind, because I mean we're just telling you that this is how it is. Climate change is over a whole, not just given to one event.
Right.
Of course, I had some guy on here that said that of course you're going to have these people on there that I forget what he was saying, but he's trying to say last week that it was that the government did that on purpose, weather altering with the snowstorm here and a fire out there. It was
Brother.
governments doing it. Of course, he believes in that HAARP or whatever it is, that stuff. So, anyway, I mean, it's just crazy. And you know what? And the people that believe in that stuff, they get mean and ugly. So,
Mm-hmm.
So we got this guy's system. Let's see here. This is a guy we're going to list some of it. So this is January. Low rain amount. Santa Ana hit every year. Lawmakers passed tree huggers laws years ago. Forest floors are not cleared, and bonnets of tall trees are dry and not addressed. One spark from anything, and you have a January fire in LA. Well, that does make sense. And I mean, and I don't know the politics as far as the all that goes, but I do know that out in California, they they do tend to be a little bit more like that, so a little more progressive. So that I don't doubt it, anyway. So Corey says he believes in AARP. Are you that? Are you not? I don't think he's quite that old yet. So I've got a guy that wants to. He's actually a viewer that messaged me, and I'm actually trying to invite him on the I call this quote unquote a podcast. It's really not a podcast. It's just a live is what it basically is. But this guy, he says he has a method. He lives out here, and he said he has a method for water transfer. That is something that he's come up with that he would, love to, talk about. So, I mean, I might have him on here one of these nights to talk about it some. So,
Can I have to answer a question here? Is it Ruby? Ruby asked where I got my tornado light. I made it.
yes, he came over to my house one night and used one of my we used one of my saws to cut it with, and we just cut it out, and then he took it and he painted it and put a light behind it. Don't it look awesome?
Step aside. Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool.
Well, hi, Ruby. Hi, Bristol.
Hello, Bristol.
So, but yeah, so you have a really cool setup. I'm going to do something like that here soon as well. I'm going to build a board, and I'm going to get some of those things like you got, and probably do something. I won't have the little tornado icon there, but I'll have something else back there.
Yeah, you can't steal my logo, bro. If you steal my logo, I'm suing you. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't need a lawsuit. So
I'm kidding. I like you, so I wouldn't do that.
yeah. So what's the latest on the stuff you're doing there at home?
Probably start playing it after we're done with this. So
recording some weather forecasts. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I got some twists out coming down the pipeline that are in the works, but that's a bit more down the stretch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think
so got to start small. I've invested a good chunk of money into this, so gotta get.
Well, it looks good. Point. It looks professional. I mean, it really does. It looks it looks really good. In my opinion, it just looks good. So
I'd say I see this as my investment. I had money put aside, like it was like not like a big chunk of change, but it was like this is money I have. My rule with this money is I'll keep collecting this money. The only way I can spend it is if I can see a way for me to make money off of spending this money. So that's what all this behind me is.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll do well with it. I'm sure. So your Weatherman Cam is very, very creative, and I don't see him failing at anything he does. So
hang on. I want to take a step back really quick, Ken. Are we still someone you were just saying that you're tired of winter? Are we still talking about the Siberian Express?
Yes, we are. But what it looks like to me is it looks like waves of cold instead of just one chunk coming down at one time. So, are you familiar with the teleconnections?
I know what they are. Yes. I mean, like to some degree, yes. Like I know PNA, all that type of stuff. Like if you're saying, what does PNA mean? I couldn't honestly answer that for you. Okay.
It's the PNA is the Pacific North American pattern is what it stands for.
Right. But like, if it's positive, what does that favor? I wouldn't be able to give you a good answer.
All right. So I'm about to show you, I'm going to pull my graphic up here to show you. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. All right. So when the polar vortex, of course, a polar vortex, when it's strong, the Arctic oscillation is, I believe it's in a positive state when it's strong. And when it's strong, you usually don't see a big dump of cold air coming to the south. Usually the jet stream's stronger around it, and so you wind up keeping a lot of the cold air up to the north. But when you start putting teleconnections into everything, there are other things that can allow the cold air to come, even when the polar vortex is pretty strong up there. So I'm going to share here a screen. Give me just a second here. And I'm going to explain to you what's going on here, why I think it's going to be several waves as opposed to just one big dump of cold air. So I don't want that. I don't want wildfires in California. I want to talk about the polar vortex here, people. All right, so let me I had to pull it up first in my show here so we can. Now here we go. We'll do it here. All right, so we're looking at the northern part of the northern hemisphere, of course, up there at the polar regions of the world. And give me a second. I just want to make sure that this looks fine here on this. Everybody can see. So let's try to. We'll try to make that pretty big there. So
close your chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the overlay off. So looks like there's a little bit of a delay on it, maybe. All right, here we go. Now, all right, so now here's what we're gonna do. All right, so there's your polar vortex. It's sitting up there, pretty strong across the polar regions of the world. Down here, there's some shots of cool air, cold air, but nothing too brutal down our way. While back up into Siberia and those areas, of course, it's supposed to be cold. That's where it builds. That's where it originates. It kind of sits there and builds over the winter. At some point in time, that cold air has got to go somewhere. It's not just going to sit there. So what we have to do is we have to start watching the west coast of the United States, western parts of Canada, and up into Nebraska. So this is when you see a ridge of high pressure builds up and it forces the jet stream up into Alaska. And you actually see milder weather over the western part of Canada and into parts of Alaska. And some areas in those, some parts of those areas that are normally sub-zero this time of the year are actually above freezing. So this is called a positive phase of the Pacific North American weather pattern here. So when that happens, you get what's called cross-polar flow. It causes the jet stream to go up, and the upper level winds cross the polar regions, and the polar vortex in this instance really helps to pull that cold air and send several shots and several waves down to the south. Now, if that polar vortex was weaker, you would see a big dump come out. It'd be like a massive cold shot here, but it to me looks like it's a little bit stronger. It's just going to send wave after wave after wave of cold air, possibly into February. Now, with this type of a weather pattern, though, you typically see the jet stream kind of stretched out. And in order to get a winter storm, you really got to have it kind of branch off a little bit. You got to see a storm center on the west side of this. And you gotta, it's gotta be able to close itself off. This is not a favorable pattern for a lot of winter weather here. So, Cameron, despite what some of these knuckleheads are putting on social media out there, as of right now, anyway, I'm not forecasting a big winter storm here at this time. What I say though,
we looked at it 2 days ago, and I kind of like. I looked at it all day yesterday, and there was nothing popping up for it. So,
well, I mean, I've looked at all the ensembles on the GFS. Some of them kind of still show a little bit of something, but to me, it just doesn't look all that favorable. I did throw some snow flurries in the mix there, but I didn't put a lot into it. So, Nancy wants to know is when will the Arctic front arrive? Looks like you get the first little cold front coming in Saturday morning. Saturday and Sunday look cold, then a stronger surge into early next week. We'll probably see a day or two early next week where the temperatures are below freezing. So probably pipe bursting kind of weather. I'm talking about below freezing even during the day. But then we're going to see periods where it warms back up a little bit. Then you'll see another wave come on down. And it'll probably be this way until at least the early parts of February. And then hopefully we'll transition out of this stuff and we'll get to a nicer pattern after Valentine's Day.
Gosh, dude, that's like a month away.
Yep, it is, Cameron. It sure is. So you're gonna have your Valentine date this year?
Let me think about it.
No Valentine date.
Not looking very likely at this time.
Well, I think that I saw on this. I've seen a lot of video of them, and they've got some lifelike robots now that look like they're companion robots. Is what they are. As they say, they can be your boyfriend or girlfriend, and I think that would be a good choice for you, Cameron.
Dude, you gotta drop this whole AI girlfriend.
She can't deny you for a date. She won't tell you no.
Is she making money? Is she working?
I'm sure she could figure it out.
Well, unless like an AI robot just shows up and they're like, "Hey, I'm making 6 figures" or something like that. Like, I'm not going for robot dog.
Well, I mean, think about it. If AI starts investing,
you're not convincing me, man.
I'm just trying to help you out, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Trying to give you some good advice.
All right, go ahead.
So I was just thinking, if you tell AI, say, hey, well, find me some good stocks to invest in. AI knows all this stuff already, right? So it starts investing your money, and it'll know when to sell and when to invest. You could become a day trader making a ton of money on that.
So why would I have to date this robot to do that?
Well, I mean, you don't have to. It's just a companion. I mean, it could be just your friend.
So
Have you seen it? Have you seen the videos?
you sent them to me before on TikTok.
No, this is like something new.
There's newer ones?
Yeah, let me see if I can find one here real fast.
Oh, brother. There's always something new.
Hey,
You got new iPhone every year, new whatever.
Let me see here if I can find it. Let's see. No, not robot. All right, here it is. You ready, Cameron? Cameron's new girlfriend right there, y'all.
It's a robot.
That's that, but I mean, it looks real. It looks human.
No, it does not. It looks okay. Yes, it looks like a person, but it does not act like a person. As a robot, you can tell
that one right there. They honestly look like they've had a few to drink. Like look how wide-eyed that is.
Ken, imagine you.
And they could put. They said they could put any face you want on them.
Ken, imagine you show up to the family function.
Look, she's a little drunk right there. Look, she's drunk.
Imagine you show up to the family function. You're like, this is my girlfriend. We call her Artificial Brittany. I don't know. And then they're like, oh, she's wonderful.
I think a good name would be Anna Droid. Anna Droid.
No, it's not happening, man. Look, I mean, maybe you can try it, try. I know you're married.
Listen, I'm married. I got a ring on my finger. I don't do anything in the robot stuff.
Look, I have a ring on my finger too. You just can't see it. I'm hiding it. You can't see it. I'm hiding it. You can't
All right. Well, I don't know. I was just it was just a thought, just a thought. So
listen, man, this has been, I guess it's 2025. 2024 is my year, and now.
But I mean, this thing, it's a surefire way for you to get a Valentine's Day. I mean, she.
Well, listen, last year for Valentine's Day, I had my grandma. She came down for Valentine's Day. We had dinner together.
That's a good. That's actually the best date you'll ever have, right there.
I know. I love going out with my grandma.
Vanessa Klein wants to snowing next week. Probably not. Maybe a little bit, but that doesn't like much.
I will always prefer my grandmother.
Exactly, man. That's the best date you'll ever go on. Take.
That's for this year. I don't know what day of the week is Valentine's Day on.
I have no idea. I can look real fast though and see.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's look in. Let's take a look here.
It looks like it's going to be on a Friday. Oh, that's a good night for Valentine's Day.
Well, darn, I gotta work. That sucks.
So no robot date for you then, huh?
No, but you know what is coming up though, Ken? I have a national championship to watch in a week.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do. Go Irish. The Fighting Irish. First national championship game they've been in a long time.
I am so excited, but
I hope they win. I really hope they win.
I think everyone except for Ohio State fans hopes they win.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I just think it's nostalgic to have Notre Dame and then there's a champion.
They are kind of like the Cubs. They only have one. They have one 5-star player on the team.
Well, they're young, aren't they?
They're young, yes, but just compared to Georgia and Ohio State, they have one 5-star player on their team. So it's why did
Carson Beck? Why did he transfer?
His girlfriend's in Miami.
Oh.
That's why.
I thought it might be some money or something like that.
No, that's what I thought first, but then they posted a picture of him and his girlfriend, and she plays basketball for Miami, I believe.
Isn't she real annoying supposedly?
I don't know, but she's got a twin. And
hey, there you go. The twin might be something good for you.
Hey, listen, I was just saying, if the other twin is available and looks just as good as Carson Beck's girlfriend, I'm all here.
Hey guys, Weatherman Cam, all available, y'all. He's all available. Correct it. So Ty wants to know, next time you get a chance, check out Convective Chronicles and his meteorological analysis. I'm curious to see what you think. I'm gonna write that down so I can look and see.
I watch it every once in a while.
Is he a real meteorologist, or is he just one of these guys on TV that just screams a lot?
No. I don't know what his breakdown. I don't know his background. I think he is a meteorologist. Basically, he'll take a severe weather event and dive into the synoptic meteorology.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd probably like that. Yeah.
The radar breakdown, It is pretty good stuff. It's really informative, so it is good stuff in my opinion.
I'll definitely check that out. That sounds like something worth it. So,
super good.
Well, I got to go. I got to get dressed for the newscast. I got like less than 10 minutes here. But hey, how do you like my headphones here?
You look like a streamer, man.
That's what I'm going for here. They're Beats.
Did you get them for Christmas?
Well, I bought myself a Christmas present, so
Well,
all right.
I'm glad you treated yourself, Ken.
Well, sometimes you just got to, you know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a smoker. It's okay.
Well, I told you when I find the right deal. Yeah, when I find the right deal. So, all right, I got to go. Thanks for joining me here, everybody. Cameron, we'll see you tomorrow night. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you later on.